So now we've come to the third and final film of the Evil Dead trilogy, Army of Darkness, which came out in 1992, or 3. I believe it was 1993. Yep, 3. 1993. And, I mean, again, it was directed by Sam Raimi, written by Sam and Ivan Raimi, and starring Bruce Campbell as Ash. Now, of course, the ending to Evil Dead 2 had, you know, the passages being read that's going to send everything back into the book. But Ash got sucked in with it, got sent back to 1300 AD. You know, sort of like out in the desert, but somehow also in England. Killed a Deadite, and all these knights, like, bowed down to him. And it ends with him screaming no, because now he's trapped back in that time. Which is kind of funny, because when this film opens up, he's a captured slave. You know, strange man that has landed. You know, no one knows who he is. They actually think he's part of the army of Henry the Red, some sort of rival kingdom, I guess. And the thing about this film is, where the Evil Dead was a straightforward horror film. Then Evil Dead 2 was the perfect blend of horror and comedy. This is almost a straightforward comedy. Like, this is... It's a much better movie, but it's sort of kind of like Mars Attacks. Like, it's sort of like a B movie, almost like if you take the Harryhausen films. I think that's his name, Harryhausen. But give it sort of like a weird Sam Raimi, Tim Burton-y Mars Attacks kind of twist. And I do enjoy this film, but it is my least favorite of the bunch. I even like the Evil Dead remake, and even the show Ash vs. the Evil Dead more than Army of Darkness. But I still do enjoy this. Yeah, this is, you know, Ash is really like the groovy kind of dumbass schmuck that people would really come to know him as. And pretty much, you know, he's taken to this pit. In the beginning, he's taken to this pit, which I'm guessing is sort of like their version of like the cellar doors, where they throw people. It's like water and these like walls with spikes that they can control. And people, sort of like the Rancor pit in Star Wars, which I can't believe I remembered the name of that. I'm not a big Star Wars guy. But Ash goes down there, kills the Deadites, comes back up, and he becomes the chosen one. And he gets tasked with going to find the Necronomicon, bringing it back so he can, you know, get sent back to his time. He's told this by the wise man, and the wise man gives him 3 words that you must recite once you achieve the book. And just like Ash, I always forget the words. And I'm actually going to look them up, because the joke in the film is that Ash, he can remember the first 2, but he can't remember the last one. So there's like this sort of gag we've seen hundreds of times in comedies. Like, he'll like try to say it and he'll like cough, see if it counts. Klaatu Barata Nitko is the last one he always brings up. And since he doesn't say the words correctly, he awakens the leader of the Army of Darkness. And so, you know, brings the book back. He's like, send me back. They know he fucked up the words, so now the Army of Darkness is coming. And he decides to step up, lead their army into victory so he can get sent back home. Now, there is plenty of, like, Evil Dead stuff. I mean, you do get some Deadites, some good effects by Tom Sullivan, who did the effects on the original film. I think he did work on Evil Dead 2, but I know that was a big K&B project. Along with the cast, you have Emmett Davids, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Played a Miss Honey on Matilda. Helena Hirsch on Schindler's List. She's like a medieval time love interest of Ash. And I like how they even redid the whole intro. Like, they did the intro similar to Evil Dead 2. But, you know, this time Linda's played by Bridget Fonda. And I think with the success of Evil Dead 2 and Darkman, Sam Raimi was given a bigger budget. So that's why, you know, this film feels a lot grander. He even recreated scenes from Evil Dead 2 when he didn't have to. Maybe that was part of the joke. Now, as I mentioned in my Evil Dead 2 review, Sam Raimi is a huge fan of Three Stooges. That's why he sort of came up with this splatstick kind of comedy. Really gory, violent, slapstick comedy. Which is perfected in Evil Dead 2. In Army of Darkness, it's very on the nose with Three Stooges. I mean, there's a part with Ash and Skeletons doing like that and the and all like the poking and pop noises. There's like the scenes where like he's going to achieve the Necronomicon, and there's 3 books. Like the first one he opens like sucks him in, so when he gets out, like his face is like this long. He's like it's like smaller, and he has to keep doing it till his face is normal. Really goofy, silly stuff. But you know, Bruce Campbell just, you know, plays it straight, just goes for it as Ash. That's what makes it more enjoyable, I think. I mean, not to say it's bad or badly written. You know, I much prefer the comedy in this film, because this is very kind of almost Looney Tunes, Three Stooges. But I still enjoy it. And I would say this, more so than the first 2, especially the first one, this is the Ash that we get in Ash vs. Evil Dead. You know, like, he goes to kiss the girl, he's like, "Hail to the king, baby." Or like, "Give me some sugar, baby." "What about all the sweet things you said?" "Ah, that's what we call pillow talk, baby." Then, of course, there's that great speech, which I always frig up. The whole bit about, "Listen up, you primitive screwheads," which I used to have the Screwhead edition of this. It was like a 2-disc with a slipcover, decent features. I do not remember what happened to it. Probably back when I was drinking, something happened to it. So I had to go out and buy this bare bones version. Alright. Holy shit. Alright, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick. Talking about his gun. It's a 12-gauge double-barrel Remington, S-Mart's top of the line. You can find this in the sporting goods department. That's right, this sweet baby was made in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Retails from about $109.95. It's got a walnut stock, cobalt blue steel, and a hair trigger. That's right. Shop smart, shop S-Mart. You got that? Just, you know, like the first time I saw it, I was like, that is just great. And I still think that's like the funniest bit of the movie. In fact, he's going through like his floor salesman pitch while still trying to like show dominance to all these people that have no idea what he's talking about or even know what a store is. Or, you know, the scene where he's at the windmill on his way to get the Necronomicon. He smashes a mirror. And there's all these little shards with little tiny reflections of him. And, like, they're running around with, like, little tiny voices. Like, oh my god, ah! Like, running away from the giant, trying to, you know, they stab him in the ass with, like, a little fork. Then they do, like, the whole Gulliver's Travels tie him down thing. And it does feel kind of Looney Tunes-esque, because there's a part where they plug his nose so one can, like, dive into his mouth. And total green screen. And you can feel him, like, moving around, so he takes this piping hot, like, kettle of water and, like, drinks it. And you know it would burn him, but, you know, he's just like, yeah, how do you like that? I know this review is kind of all over the place, but even though I like this film, it's so unlike the other two Evil Dead films that even though I've seen it a bunch of times, it's easy for me to forget what I've seen. I don't know why. Because, again, I really do enjoy this film, and just for some reason, it's easy for me to get a lot of stuff in it. I do think it's funny, just not as funny. It is more silly than actually cleverly funny. This film was kind of silly, but I thought it was really funny. And yeah, the effects are kind of like Harryhausen, like all the, like the way the skeletons, like I still love the stop motion. I always love stop motion. There's even the part where like the leader of the Army of Darkness, he's now just a skeleton with eyes, and he like, you know, the way Ash hits him, his like head spins and it makes these noises. When he stops his head, his eyes are still going. So it's got some really silly shit like that. And I'm guessing this is just Sam Raimi trying to fuck with Bruce Campbell. But when we see Ash in his own time at S-Mart, he has like his hair slicked back with like one piece of his bangs, like one little strip like this, like that long, just kind of coming down. Probably just trying to make it look really silly. And then, you know, at the end where he's in the store and he's telling the story to Ted Raimi. And, like, there's this one, a Deadite woman, because he did say the words right again when he took the potion that was sent him back. So this Deadite woman causing destruction, lights are flashing. He's like, ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the store. And he does this badass, like, poo, 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 like, fast shooting. It is kind of funny that he was able to make a robot hand in 1300 AD England. I mean, yeah, this film kind of hinted that he's kind of a bit of an engineer of sorts. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not the hugest fan of Army of Darkness. I mean, I do find it entertaining. I do enjoy it. It is fun and funny. It is Ash at his most ashiest, I think. This is still my favorite portrayal of Ash. I even really enjoy him in the TV show, which I think the TV show kind of ignores Army of Darkness, even though this version is more like him in the show. Just for some reason, it's not a movie that sticks with me near as much as the other two, but I do enjoy it. So, unfortunately, that's all I got. So, yeah. So, that is the original trilogy of Evil Dead. So, stay tuned for the remake. And I might do a video just kind of going over the series. It's been a while since I've seen the series. I did finish it. I don't own it. I watched it on Netflix. So I'm probably not going to be able to talk about specific episodes or story arcs. Just talk about how I liked it as a whole. But yeah, Army of Darkness. I still liked it enough to where I could say I like the whole trilogy. You know, Love the first one to death. Absolutely love it. It's a masterpiece of a classic cult film. 2 I like even more. That's my favorite one. This, you know, it's not disappointing. It's not that bad. It's just I just don't like it as much. That's all it is. But Army of Darkness, still a solid Ash film. So anyway, thank you for watching.